What is up, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Start, Build, Grow Show. We have two special guests with us today, and we're going to dive into some amazing content. I know these two dudes pretty well. I've known them for a long time, and this is going to be a fun combo. So you're going to want to stay tuned and really dial in on this one. So without further ado, we're going to get this bad boy kicked off. All right, everybody, welcome back. We have Matthew Dankin with 2 T's, Matthew Mulholland with 1 T, and we're just having debate on that. We might dive into that in a little bit, but two very, very influential men in the roofing industry. You've both been in the space a long time, and you've done some amazing things and really dedicated your lives to enhancing the industry. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful to know you, and we're excited to have this conversation. So welcome in, my man.
Thanks for having us, man.
So generally kind of in the beginning of this thing, I know we're going to do our best to try to like have you talk over each other. It's going to be great. At the beginning of this thing, let's just get, a brief history. Like, how did you get into the industry and kind of, what's your focus? And I'm going to start with Dankin.
Oh, so I got into the industry actually out in Denver, where you're at, working. I've started into construction as a kid, building houses with my dad. I got my first job framing houses while I was in middle school. Got into construction, really getting out of college. I got into construction sales and did a lot of new builds, remodels, additions, all that sort of stuff, until I stumbled upon the roofing industry and saw the fact that insurance company was going to pick up 90% of the bill, that, Mother Nature was going to drop off ready customers over and over again. And, kind of went full force into that once I saw what the opportunity was.
Love it. So you primarily were doing sales at first, is that right?
Yeah, I was doing retail construction sales. So somebody wanted to remodel their kitchen or build an addition, things like that.
Gotcha. So you had that background already. Very cool. All right, Mulholland, give me your how'd you get into this business, man?
I during the Great Recession, shit hit the fan for so many people. I had somebody come onto a car lot I was selling cars on in order to make the bills get paid. And he was telling me about all the hail damage and stuff that was in the area in Atlanta. Pointed to a strip mall across the street. It had these AC units that were sticking up that we could see because we were up on a hill and it was peppered. And it's like, you see how it looks like it's all peppered and shit. It's got all that hail damage on it. So he invited me out to take a look at what he was doing and start selling roofs for him, which I did for about 6 months. Started my own roofing company. Eventually became a public adjuster after many years as a roofer. Knocking on doors was not something I really enjoyed doing. But you do what you got to do when you got kids, right? So yeah, been doing this a while.
It's like a rite of passage, right? So many people that I meet you both have been on the show individually. I mean, this is 3 years or so, or maybe, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, a lot of years. I think it's more actually 6 years. What am I thinking? 3 years. I've been doing this for 6 years now. We have like 300 episodes, and you both have been on here, and so many people in this industry, so many people I've interviewed, we all start that way, right? It's like a rite of passage. Like, right, something in life happens, and somehow, some way, you stumble your way into the roofing industry. You figure out that if you go knock some doors, you can make some good money, and then you realize that, holy crap, I can literally change my life in this industry. So it's awesome. And I think those of us who've gone through that quote unquote rite of passage, if you will, see this industry in a different light. And I think that's what kind of stimulates and triggers like a passion to give back to the industry. So I'm going to lean into that a little bit, because you guys are both, at this point in your career, we're going to get into some of that in a minute, but both of you, I know individually, I know you're passionate about the industry and giving back to this industry. So, go back to Dankin on, what caused that desire, and what helped you, realize, and then what you do about like the whole concept of giving back to this industry.
I think my first couple of years in the industry, there was a lot of pain, right? A lot of frustration, a lot of mistakes made. And I am somebody that I'm going to work through it. I'm going to figure out the answer. I'm going to go find out. I'm going to read, every book that I can. I'm going to watch every podcast that I can. I'm going to, whatever. And, but it's a lot of work. And, and you make a lot of mistakes before you get that information. And so, a lot of the things that are required to be successful in this industry are not actually that hard. It's just trying to find the right information, put all the pieces together. And there's also bad information out there that you have to sort through. And so after getting through so much of that and finding success with that, it's like, man, I can't just continue to watch people struggle the same way that I was struggling. I've got to go, hey, here's the information that you're looking for. Here's the thing that's going to help you, and like Matt mentioned, if you're providing for your family or if it's just for yourself, whatever, like you still have that drive to work hard and be successful. If you're struggling with that, and you don't have to be, you really, I just have a heart to want to help people not have to struggle that way.
Yeah, I love that, man. What about you, Mulholland?
I'm just going to be real for a second. Sometimes you want to tell people that you love to help and things. And I do, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy helping, but there is a part of me that enjoys helping because of the ego, right? I think that that's okay though. I want people to view me as someone that knows his shit. I want to be the best of the best if I can be. So I strive to do that. I created my original podcast, Listen to This Bull, because I met with an engineer for the very first time in my career. And that engineer said that we could match shingles by painting them in his report. And that was some bullshit. And I wanted everyone to know about it. So I started my podcast, Listen to This Bull. And that's why it started that. Listen to this bull. This friggin' report says this. And we were able to overcome it. So you should send us more work, kind of a thing. But that turned into a lot more videos that provided additional content. And I discovered that the more that I gave, the more information I provided to everybody, the less that I held back, the more work that I got. And so collaboration in today's market is highly sought after and highly valuable to bring work in, not just people hold back way too much information. I developed a desire to help from that, stemming from ego. Really started enjoying teaching. So at some point, I sold my rather successful PA firm in order to start teaching specifically, just because it's so much fun to watch somebody get it and it start to click, and they're like, I know how to get them. And then an hour later, they're like, I just did what you just said and it just worked. And that's freaking awesome. So it's fun watching people succeed because you were able to give them the right information. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
When you help someone out, when you help out a homeowner for the first time that really needed you and you feel like a hero, well, if you're teaching people and helping others learn how to fish, then you're helping so many more people than just that one person. And it makes a huge difference. And that's the key.
I love that you said that, right? We all got egos, man. I mean, you gotta have a certain level of ego to reach some level of success in life. And those who say I don't have an ego, that's their ego talking, telling you that they don't have an ego, right? We all have a certain level of ego, and I more think of like, confidence, right? You got to have a certain level of confidence to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. But again, like, I think, I know you guys are high achievers, and the idea is be the best at what you do. But you can't be the best at what you do unless you put in the time to learn what you got to learn to get good, to then master your craft. And this isn't just sales, or isn't just the roofing industry. Like, we've all, like all three of us over our, I've been in this 20 years now, and you guys have been in this a long time as well. It's like we've kind of found our niches and really focused and honed in on mastering that one thing. Right. And
Mm.
for me, I'm still in roofing. I love building my roofing company. I love being able to leverage that company to create opportunities for people, like to have salespeople come on board and learn our program and stick with us for years and just make like life-changing money in their families. And I just got back from a trip. We brought 17 people to Costa Rica, and like, talk about like the feeling of, man, like the thing that I started, that I created, led to this incredible experience and these lives and these families that are being affected. Was super cool. So I lean into that. And that's where the whole coaching and teaching and helping others. So you nailed it. Like, there's a feeling you get, regardless of what leadership position you're in, when you can help somebody accomplish something that they may or may not have been able to do. And maybe they could have done on their own, but you helped accelerate that, right? I believe that people are going to figure it out one way or another. But if I can help accelerate that and help a good person accelerate, oh man, that feeling is incredible.
When you build a business, I mean, it becomes your baby. There's all creativity in there. And if you're a parent, at least for me, one of the coolest moments of being a father was that moment when your firstborn learns something and uses that for the first time. And the amount of pride that you get in that one moment is, well, it's unbeatable.
Yep.
You can have that same feeling in a business because it is your baby. You can see someone achieving because of the help that you gave them. It's a great feeling, man. I live for that feeling. I love it.
Yeah, I'm with you. So shifting gears just slightly here, and I guess what I'm leading up to is, each of you guys have kind of found that one thing. You found your thing, and you really pressed in to kind of master that one thing. And I know Matthew and I, my business, right? So to preempt this question, my business, I saw that I started my roofing company, and just like you said, most of us go knock doors, sell roofs, make money, right? That's how you start this business. That's the path of least resistance. Go figure it out. I freaking hated it. Right. I'm like, there's got to be another way. So when I started my business, I'm like, okay, I just looked at it from a perspective of what is the consumer, what are they going to do? And it was, okay, or how do I get business? Right. One, go knock doors. Two, what's the consumer going to do? Right. They're going to either scientific research. No, it's just intuition. They're going to either go online and search Google and look for roofers, or if it's an insurance, they're going to call their insurance agent. So it just like dawned on me. I'm like, okay, every other roofer's out here. They don't have the marketing. They don't have the branding. They don't have the websites. They don't have the Google ratings. They don't have the ability to even nurture a relationship with insurance agents. So what do they have to do? They have to knock doors. I'm like, wait a minute. What if I went all in on the other thing? And I believe that you had a very similar epiphany there, Dankin. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, my experience was very similar. I actually used to run door knocking teams and do all that sort of stuff. So like I'm very familiar with door knocking. But I kind of lucked into the insurance agent thing. Like you said, like there's all these different ways to develop business. I had a buddy of mine that was an insurance agent that was sending me roofs. And I'm very analytical. So I started going through the numbers. I'm like, I am so much more efficient, like in terms of like closing rates, in terms of, these things getting approved and how much they're paying out on these things that are referred by a good agent of a good carrier versus me playing Russian roulette, knocking on Mrs. Jones's door, not knowing if she has Allstate or Amica, not knowing how this whole, she doesn't know me. She doesn't care anything about me, or she's not trying to solve this problem already. So once I got out, I guess once I had that same epiphany of like, this is where I need to be operating. It was just a matter of going through and making the mistakes. And like you said, other people can figure it out. There's tons of people that have been getting referral relationships with insurance agents long before I started my company and even before I was born. Right. But we figured out a really, really repeatable, scalable way of doing that so that the good guys can do it successfully. And I think you mentioned something I think is really important, is like the guys who don't have good branding, or let's just say it, like aren't doing good business. And there are people that are doing good business that maybe just struggle with the branding, but people that are don't care about their customers, that are installing a bad product or whatever, they can't compete with the good guy with that referral relationship. They can knock a door just the same. That customer doesn't know one from the other. And so if you're that good guy, it's, I would say, stupid to try to compete with that guy who's providing an inferior product on a level playing field.
Absolutely. And I think that's so vitally important is you got to put in the work to build not only the brand, the culture, and have the systems in place to be able to execute on the relationships that you're going to build. You can go out there and make friends and kiss babies all day long and have 100 agents that you can high five with and be good with. But the second they give you an opportunity, you drop the ball, guess what? Good luck. You're done. You're back to knocking doors because it's that numbers game. So you have to be able to execute. And that's where people fail. I believe. I know we do a lot of this, our whole business model is built on what you teach. Right. And I mean, the proof in the pudding, and I'm going to ask for some, I'm going to get some insight from you. We're going to get some, for those listeners here, we're going to get some of the good stuff, the secrets from Matt over here in this, but from us, like just the proof in the pudding of putting in the time and energy when the storms aren't there. We had 4 years of no storms in this market. We stayed true and stayed nurturing and still showed up and went to basketball games and did things to nurture those relationships. And then all of a sudden we get one of the biggest storms we've ever had in our market. And our reps, like I think we had $1 million in one day in revenue from our insurance agent relationships. I mean, obviously you didn't sign it in that one day, but $1 million in business came in one day because of those storms that hit, like from our 5 reps that all had these relationships with insurance agents. It's incredible how it works. But again, the years that they had no hail, they weren't ignoring those relationships. They were still showing up, still bringing them coffee, still going to lunch, still going to basketball games, like doing the things you got to do to build that relationship. And guess what happened? Craziness, right? It's like, seems like it's easy, but Matt, give me, and I'm going to shift over to your story too, Mulholland, but give me a couple tips there while we're on this topic. Like, let's give us some goods, my man.
Yeah, I would say, you mentioned a couple of things, taking them to Nuggets games, bringing them lunch, bringing them coffee, all that sort of stuff. I think that is almost a white flag of, I don't have a lot of value to bring to you, so I'm going to supplement these little tchotchkes, right?
Okay.
And so there's nothing, inherently wrong with those things, right? Like they're nice things. It's nice when someone brings you coffee. It's nice when someone gives you Nuggets tickets. But I would think really carefully about what insurance agents truly care about. And a lot of that is you executing for their customer, right? If this agent is a good person that cares about their customers, and that's how I think that's, like everything that drives me is like, if you don't care about your customers, I don't want to be in business with you. Right. And there's a lot of other things there, but like if they care about their customers, they want us to deliver. They want us to install properly, good products, charge fairly, to operate ethically, all those, show up on time, look like we have our stuff together, just real simple stuff like that. But people are self-interested. That insurance agent is concerned with how much money am I going to make this year? Can we afford to buy that boat that we want? Or whatever it is. And so if they're looking, just like we're constantly looking, where am I going to sell my next roof? They're looking for, where can I quote my next policy? Where can I sell another customer that's going to pay me a commission now? It's going to pay me a commission every year for the next 10 years. And so if I can consistently deliver on that for them, it doesn't matter who's taking them to a Nuggets game. I've gone to a Nuggets game with an insurance agent that got the tickets from another roofer and sent, he would send his roofs to me and brought me to the Nuggets game. He was like, do not take any pictures. Like, don't post this online. So this guy finds out, then I'm not getting any more Nuggets tickets. It wasn't you, by the way. But if you can do that consistently, then you're going to stand out from the crowd. And you already hit on this on terms of, if you want to do anything consistently in your business, it's not going to happen by chance. It has to be process. It has to be, this is the way that we work. This is, we train on this.
Yep.
We have accountability for this. We have structure for this. This is what we're going to do to make sure that we are capitalizing on every opportunity that we can. Yes, to sell roofs, but also to deliver referrals to our referral partners. And that, and then you guys can you can take turns who pays for breakfast burritos or who buys coffee. But if you're operating on that level, it is so rare for other contractors to actually do that. And it's not that hard of a thing to do once you realize how important it is.
Yeah, I think that's a huge golden nugget. And I love that you preempted that with the my previous story was really like, when there wasn't work to be had, I can't prove myself as like showing
Correct,
up, communicating, executing. Like, I'm still going to be your friend. Let's build a relationship. But that's the key, is you can do all that. But for me, it's like, just get me in the ring. Okay. Get me in the ring and give me the opportunity. Once you get that opportunity, over deliver. And I think a huge piece that we've learned too, we had a really good sales meeting recently where a couple of my guys who've done really, really well with this, like I was asking them to kind of share with some of the newer guys who are trying to execute this. And they're like, you should get excited and like almost celebrate when you don't have a claim. The communication of like, thank you for the opportunity. I inspected the roof. They're in good shape. Who calls and says that?
Well, and especially
the communication side,
Yeah. Another nugget for you here is, when you are dealing with a customer that isn't a referral from an insurance agent, right? They found you guys online, or they saw your trucks, or whatever it is, and you go out and do an inspection and they don't have damage. What a great way to introduce yourself to that insurance agent. And already you've built trust to show, hey, here's my photo documentation. One, we've got a really good process for that. But I want you to have this. And they're like, oh, a roofer who didn't tell my customer to file a claim. Holy cow. I need you to be the guy that's going out and meeting with these customers that think that they have a claim that maybe don't.
Yeah.
And that is a powerful, powerful thing for you to do.
Love it. All right, we're going to shift gears over to Matt. You're holding back. Give me it. Let's go.
That Matt just dropped real quick though, if we can. This is why I went into business with this guy. He thinks about things the right way. When we have an argument with our spouse or anybody in life, one of the first things that you're supposed to do is kind of put yourself in their shoes and understand what it is that their issue is, how they view it from their perspective. Put yourself in their shoes. What are their motivations? We can do that in every aspect of our lives with everybody that we work and deal with, and anyone we're having a fight with. If you guys are dealing with insurance carriers and having some issues, find out what that person wants and needs that you're arguing with and provide that to them, and you're more likely to win. The adjusters want this shit off their desks too. They just need a certain amount of information to be able to do that. And you just have to be able to provide that. So being able to put yourself in the shoes of somebody else, in Matt's example, it's the insurance agent, what it is that they need, what their motivations are. An adjuster's motivation is not too far off. They really just don't want to fight. They want to move on. They want to get paid for that claim and move on. In order to do that, they have to get some things past their management. And to get things past their management, they need documentation that is appropriate, succinct, and gives them everything they need so that they can actually push this thing past them. They want to say yes. They do. So You just have to give it to them instead of fighting every little thing like they're evil. They're not. Anyway.
Yeah.
Matt's nuggets, you got big nuggets, Matt.
At the end of the day, what are we talking about? Human to human interaction. We're all humans. We're all people. We all, like it's like, so we have such transactional minds where it's like the adjuster, they have a job they got to do. They got parameters they got to fill within that job. The agent has a job. They have an objective. And obviously we're all self-interested, but if we can put ourselves in the other party's shoes, it can really help like understand how to navigate that relationship to where it becomes mutually beneficial, right? What's one of the golden rules in business is win-win, right? Find win-win solutions, and that's how we do business. So, you touched on it a little bit, and I want to dive in here because Matthew's really been on the insurance side of things and mastering your craft there. Other Matthew has been really focusing on the insurance agent side of things. This here these ways. And
your other Matt, just so you're aware.
Other Matt, right? The other Matt, and
okay.
And you guys went into business together. Like, let's talk about that. Like, this is a fairly new deal. I'm super intrigued with it, so I want to kind of press in there. What you guys got going on?
Well, we've got the Building Experts Institute. If you haven't heard of that yet, it is an online training platform where you have go at your own pace training. And there's experts that we bring in for what it is that they're good at. Sometimes you will have heard of these people. Sometimes you might not have, but that's okay because we find the right people to do this. We get super deep into the specific training that we're doing. It's beautiful. It's like masterclass. If you guys have seen masterclass at all, the cinematography is excellent, which helps you engage, which helps you retain information. So your new guys that you're putting through these things can learn and not get bored and think about other things. They're able to actually retain a lot of the information. It's all broken down, chapterized. There's resources attached to everything, and it's all a living being. We can update this. We add more resources as we get it. If you're going to learn how to identify hail damage, well, we give you access to all of the research papers that all this came from, with highlights all over those papers and our commentary on it. And you can utilize those papers to present to the carriers to say, hey, well, this actually is supposed to be hail damage according to this Hague engineering group and the paper that they wrote about it at this point in time. And here's the specific page and language that you really want to see. There's so much that you can do if you have the right resources and everything broken down. We've done the work for you. And we're going to continue to. And it's a membership, and it's cheap. It's not cheap because it's inexpensive. That's the word I should be saying, right? Yeah, Matt, I saw him cringe.
It's affordable, right? Isn't that the right?
It's affordable.
It's affordable.
$109 a month, and you gain access to everything. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
I mean, you can't beat that.
I'll let Matt
so give me. Yeah, Matt, let's hear your thoughts on it.
And he hit a lot of topics on it. This is something that I've wanted to tackle for a long time because I've seen a need in this space. There's guys out there like yourself that teach on the business side of this thing, right? Mm-hmm. Which there's a ton of stuff. There's a ton of need there, right? There's guys that tackle the sales side of things. And most of the technical stuff that I've ever seen or been a part of has been usually like a sales trainer teaching you how to identify hail, how to do an inspection, how to, navigate claims. Or at best, it's a supplementer trying to tell somebody in the field how to do those things. And, I've known Matt for years. I saw what he was doing with the National Claims Institute, where the people that were coming out of those courses that are like, holy cow, I am in the top 1% of the industry in knowledge now after a 4-day class, right? And I could have been brand new coming into this. And, but the business model was, I would say, a little bit broken, right? You had to fly to this remote area of Florida. You had to find somewhere to stay and be in person away from your job and your family for a few days to do this. And so it just wasn't super scalable. It wasn't something that a lot of people could take advantage of. And so the people that were doing it were super, successful with the training that they were getting. But we just couldn't reach enough people scalably. And so I had John Tillman as our other partner in Building Experts Institute. He used to be my video guy for Restoration Referral System. And, it was really important to me, the quality of the production that went into our training. I didn't want to just have my first, if you saw the version 1.0, it was like a cell phone video in a poorly lit garage, right? With bad audio. And if somebody's going to spend time learning this information, at least make it enjoyable. At least, have good audio and video. And I luckily was able to find John. He's an awesome guy. He probably knows more about roofing and claims than 98% of our industry as well, just because he's had to go through and edit and, produce all these courses.
He's seen every course at least 500 times.
Yeah. But we looked at this and said, a lot of the courses that Matt has done in the past and some of our other trainers have done as like private trainings, people will pay $500 to $1,000 per course just to get that one course. And they get, hey, whatever you can get in your brain in this one day that you're at, in a hotel conference room with us. And which, again, that's part of the model that needs improvement. And we said, you know what, for $109 a month, if you're a professional and you want to be elite in this industry and you can turn that knowledge into cash day in, day out, that allows us to continue to invest into finding the very best people, into producing beautiful, really, really in-depth courses. That's one thing that, again, even the information that I've found out there that I was going through trying to learn this stuff myself, there's 15 different places you can find the same surface level information. If you want to be elite, you got to go deep, right? And so it's elite roofing. I just
I was like, you did that on purpose.
Realize why I got this smirk out of you. No, it wasn't on purpose, but I'm gonna trademark that real quick. But
you're gonna take it from my list of trademarks. I
lost where it was.
Totally.
We talked about the ego thing. I got one positive encouragement, and I just lost my train of thought. It's awesome for us to be able to continue to develop this product so that you get all the courses that we have now, but we're continually adding new courses. We're actually shooting 2 more courses next week. We're shooting another course a couple of weeks after that. Actually another course 2 more courses a couple of weeks after that. So we're going to have 5 more courses in the can, a month and a half from now. And so, I'm just really excited about it as a business for people to be able to tap into without breaking the bank. They can invest into themselves and be able to do something that's going to make a real impact on their career.
I mean, and it's real technical training. I mean, we get as deep as you can get. It is taking an entire career to find some of these resources. Hell, we've had to make our own hail cannon in order to be able to identify some of the things that you just can't find any information on. And we end up learning along the way that a lot of the stuff that has been taught by engineering firms, you can get certifications at, is just not based in reality. So there's a lot of bullshit out there, and we're able to uncover it, prove what it is that we're doing, and teach some of those technical aspects. If you want sales training, there's plenty of them.
Yep.
If you want technical,
I got
training,
archives of, like I said, we did 300 shows, and I got every sales trainer, and there's some amazing people that train sales in this industry. Go. Perfect plug. Thanks, Mulholland. Make sure to like and subscribe to this, guys. Like, this is hundreds of episodes of this show, the Start Boat Grow Show, and people like this, industry leaders that care, that share their information. You can learn an incredible amount for free on any of the podcasting platforms or on our YouTube channel. So make sure to go and subscribe and like and comment. And if there's a course or something you want to learn, you want to hear about what they have in the hopper, go ahead and ask a question. Comment on this video if you can. What is up, everybody? It's that time again. The Roofing Academy is presenting another one-day workshop. Our roofing success system workshops have been amazing. We've had such great feedback. We decided to do one again. This one is going to be in Denver, Colorado. Now check it out. This one's going to be really special. We're changing it up a little bit. As many of you know, there's been a lot of discussion about the Fair Labor Standards Act. Now, many roofing contractors operate in this gray area, whether, you have 1099 employees or W-2 employees, or, subcontractors. Are they considered subs? Are they considered employees? We're going to spend some good time with an attorney, Rick Daly from Daly and Black. He's actually flying in person and joining us and going to be getting us some amazing clarity on this challenge. Do you need to change your business model? Do you need to be worried about what's coming down and what the new law from the federal government is telling us to do? We're gonna get some clarity on that. That's one component of the Roofing Success workshop that we're doing. Check it out. It's coming May 3rd here in Denver, Colorado. I'd love to have you there. The problem is we only have 80 spots. We only have 80 spots. And this is gonna sell out quick. I feel like we're gonna completely max this thing out. Not only are we talking about the Fair Labor Practices Act, we're going into the other systemized components of building a roofing company. The objective is to build a systemized roofing company. That's my mission. That's what we do. That's how we execute at the Roofing Academy. So you're gonna get a one-day crash course on systemizing your roofing business. We're gonna talk about everything from building a high-performance production system that you can rinse and repeat, and you can do from 1 to 10 jobs per day with the same system and execute at a very high level. Very important. We're going to talk about that. We're going to teach you how to hire, onboard, train, and retain an amazing team of A players, from your sales team to your staff to your back office, how to build an amazing team and retain an amazing team of A players. We're going to teach you how to do that as well. We're also going to talk about how to run your business by the numbers, get some financial strategies and training on how to systemize the back office of your business and how to run your business by the numbers. We're definitely diving into that as well, plus so much more. We're gonna have experts, some high-level, multi-million-dollar sales producers gonna be there talking about how to hire, train, and retain high performance sales reps. And that's just the start of it. Not only are you gonna learn some amazing things on how to systemize your business, how to answer the questions, should I hire W-2s or 1099s, but you're also going to be able to network and connect with some amazing leaders and industry professionals in the roofing business. So, hey, check it out. May 3rd, Denver, Colorado. Come hang out with me and our amazing team, as well as our speakers and some other amazing roofing contractors. I can't wait to see you there. So click the link below. Get your ticket right now. Again, this is so cheap. We're doing this we're literally just doing this for cost. We want to serve the industry. That's what we're dedicated to doing. So make sure to mark your calendars, get your ticket now, and we'll see you in May. All right. Well, I have a question. It'll come back to you.
Details and it being awesome and things along those lines. And you should totally become a member.
I'm in.
Yeah.
You got my $100, $109. So check this out. Question, real quick. Just I'm putting my consumer hat on. I'm listening to this and watching this. I'm like, okay, my curiosity's peaked. What are let's say, how many courses you have total in there so far?
8.
8 courses in there total, and you got 5 more in hopper, and there's the vision's going big, I assume.
Average length of the course is like 6 hours long. So it's quite a bit of content, but it's all chapterized and easy for you to go through and then go back individually to different sections if you need to. If you need something specific for a specific claim, it's easy to identify what portion of that class you need to get back to. So you can spend 5 minutes relearning that one thing instead of watching hours and hours of video for it.
I like it. Do you want I guess the next question is list the 8, or maybe give us your top 3 or 4 that you see are the best, the most engaged courses you have?
Yeah, I would say the most engagement we've gotten from any of our courses is defeating unethical engineering tactics that Matt Mulholland teaches, which isn't exclusively for dealing with engineers. A lot of the things in there are helpful on any claims that you're dealing with adjusters, that you're trying to make sure that the just outcome comes out of that claim. And that one is probably our longest course. It's about 8 hours of actual video, but there's written stuff that goes along with that. There's diagrams that go along with it. There's research papers. It's essentially like taking a college course. So I know when I tell people we've got 8 courses out, I've had people that are like, oh yeah, like I'm doing this training and they've got 300 courses. It's a different way that we're dividing up the information. So they are really, really robust. Identifying hail damage, Matt teaches as well, is a really good one. I teach, actually, our most recent course is inspecting steep slope roof systems. So we teach our inspection protocol, which is going to look a little bit different than you've probably learned from your roofing company or that adjusters have learned from their insurance company. It is our own experience that has built this process that is pretty well bulletproof. It also helps you sell the job, but more importantly, helps ensure that it gets paid properly. Based on
time. You don't have to go back again because you missed something. It's a process that is duplicatable for everybody in the company. And if you had to hand it off to somebody else to estimate it because you did it in such a specific way, it's easy to identify where the damage was because you're doing it in a specific order. Everything is just laid out very nicely. So it's a process. This is your step-by-step how to investigate. We've got the course on what it is you're looking for hail, what it is you're looking for wind. We're shooting repairability of asphalt shingle roofs, documentation. We've got Xactimate courses, Xactimate level 1, 2, and 3 certification courses. So if you need to get yourself certified, you need to take a course so you know how to pass that test with Xactware. And those are very expensive typically. You'd normally be charged a couple $1,000s to go sit in on just one level of that. And it might be 4 days long. Well, who has the ability to take 4 days off of work, spend several $1,000s plus travel expenses to do that for one level? We've got all 3 levels on there. Go at your own pace, do it in your own time, whatever you want. And even if it took you all year, it doesn't cost you the same amount as going to one of those things. So there's a lot of benefits to jumping on this. We're coming out with a new course roughly once every month and a half. And it's just because they're so detailed that it takes so long. It takes a lot of effort to do. But because we put so much attention into it, it's worthwhile. This is not an Anthony Del Medico kind of a setup. I said it.
He went there.
Yeah.
Man, and I love it because we've got to talk a little bit about this as you guys are developing this, and I'm looking forward to nurturing. I'll say this on the show, nurturing our relationship and engagement because, this syncs so well with what we do. Because I'm all about the business, the systems, the operations. Like that's our bread and butter. We want to teach you how to run your business, duplicatable, repeatable processes, and profitable, hire, train, onboard, retain great people, build a great culture. The money, make sure it works properly, make sure your production department's working great. But I'm not going to teach you how to inspect. And we have a little bit, but I'm not going to teach you how to identify health evidence, inspect the actual on-site. You guys are crushing that. And why would I try to duplicate that when there's some industry experts that have spent, decades mastering their craft and doing that. So it syncs up well. If you're watching the show, whether you're a member, you're not a member, whatever it is, this is kind of a no-brainer. So, obviously this is not no intention of trying to sell nothing, but it's kind of hard not to be like, wow, this is pretty interesting. So thank you guys. I love what you're doing. I appreciate the initiative of understanding hey, there's a need for this in the industry. And I can speak as a roofer where, I hire and onboard and train sales reps. We give them a system to follow. We teach them the CRM system. We teach them what to say, how to interact, but I can't duplicate. It's a lot of work and it's a long process for them to really get on enough roofs, do enough inspections, see all the different types of roofing and all the different types of scenarios. I got guys that have been working for years and they're like, I've never seen this type of roof. I've never seen this type of scenario. How do I navigate this issue? And you guys are solving that problem. And it's incredible. I'm on board. I appreciate what you're doing in the industry. So as we're going to, obviously we could probably talk all day long, but we got lives and businesses as well. So let's try to land the plane. And you guys know this, you've been on the show before. Now I'm getting ready to, this show is about entrepreneurship. It's about, leveling up and about, being the best leader and person you can be. So give me your golden nugget of, from an entrepreneurial leadership perspective, what's something that maybe the best advice that you could leave our audience with? And I'll just popcorn it. Whoever wants to go first, fire away.
I'm going to let Matt go first.
I'll go first. So one thing that I kind of stumbled upon years ago, and this was Matt mentioned being in car sales. I was in car sales years and years ago. And I realized that I was completely out of my depth. I had no understanding of what I was doing. I was just, hoping to put food on the table. And I started doing a little bit of research and doing a little bit of training. And very quickly, I was able to pass up the other guys that have been doing it for 20, 30 years because I was growing my skill set. And so I started just scheduling time for myself, and I run by a calendar. So I've got when I eat breakfast is on my calendar. When I go to the gym is on my calendar. Everything I do is on my calendar. And so I would just set aside an hour of my day every day that I'm training. And all the rest of the work that I'm trying to do and the sales I'm trying to produce could fit in around that thing that had to happen. That had to happen, that I was growing my skill set every day. Otherwise, I was going to still be selling cars, 10, 20 years later. I didn't want to be like those guys. Right. And, I would say as a roofing salesperson, as a business owner, all those such things, it's really easy to go, I don't have time for training. I do not have time to do these things. If you will, first of all, get yourself on a schedule, follow that schedule, be the guy that goes, hey, you know what? We've got to wrap up this lunch because I've got something going on. Even if that's something you could excuse. Stay true to your word, to yourself, to stay on that schedule. And even if it's just a tiny little thing, whether it's a podcast or free resources or BEI or whatever it is, constantly be growing that skill set. And you will find it. I'm talking a few months of doing that, and you will absolutely blow away your competition. Nobody will be able to stand next to you if you do just that little bit for a few months, and you'll be in that elite group again. But it's a good name. You did well with choosing your company name. But I would say that's my biggest nugget is there's a lot of good things that you can learn, but just make sure that you are setting aside the time and making that a priority to continue to learn over time.
Man, I love that you said that, and I would just second that 1,000%. What did we talk about right at the beginning of this thing? If you want to be a master, right? If you want to be the Michael Jordan of what it is that you do, he didn't show up late. He didn't leave early. He put in the time. And anybody that wants to be great at what they do, want to excel at what you do, you got to put in the time and invest the time in yourself. And you got to put in the extra work and the extra time and extra commitment and the extra discipline to be the best at what you do. Thank you for sharing that, Matt. I appreciate it. All right, Mulholland, bring us home, man.
I'm actually going to tie in a little bit to what Matt was saying then as well. I think that if you want to be the best at what you do, then you need to be an open-minded individual, not making assumptions of what things mean because you've always heard that it meant that. I was reading a State Farm policy earlier today, and I caught something I haven't caught in a long time, or maybe never. And to be honest, I teach courses on advanced policy interpretation. I go through policies constantly, and I made some realizations today because I stopped trying to assume what something meant, and I caught something that I hadn't caught before. I ended up looking up what this one word meant. The word peril. I actually looked up what peril meant this far into my career. It wasn't the first time, obviously, but I really started digging into what that meant for this one particular policy, and it led to there being an actual coverage that they were saying wasn't there. Stay curious, ask a lot of questions, and assume that you're wrong about things, and continue to try to find out if you're right about that or not. If you can do all those things, you will be a master at whatever it is that you do. And continue to improve constantly because of it. So don't make assumptions and be curious.
Man, that's powerful. Be curious, stay curious. I love it. Thank you, fellas, for joining us. Hey, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Go ahead, Matt. You can reach out to us. Our website is buildingexperts.institute. And you can reach out to us through the chat. We've got our phone number and email on there. And we're usually pretty quick to respond.
Yeah, definitely on the medias of the social as well. So you guys posting a lot of great content and doing awesome things for the industry. Thank you so much. And for you listening, if you're driving, if you're listening to the podcast, if you're watching the video, give us a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know, engage, ask some questions. Let us know what you think, and make sure to subscribe to the show for some more amazing educational content for you to grow and succeed in your business and in life. Thank you guys so much. Take care. God bless.